All right, so I am back again with another what are they called? Yeah, VOD review. Yeah, back again with another VOD review. Today we got DK versus T1 Game 3 from Week 3 of LCK. Today's guest I have with me today, I'm just gonna let him introduce himself.
I'm Coach Okeanos, one of the coaches for AOE currently, and we're going to be reviewing a nice game.
Yeah, neither of us have watched this game, I'm pretty sure. So it's gonna be pretty fresh. And starting off from draft, blue side Jinx Thresh bans. I guess they're at a spot where they didn't want to play Jinx and they want to give Jinx. They're taking away Thresh to get away Thresh Aphelios without the Jarvan counter, and then just Lee Sin. I'm assuming they didn't want to B1 it. Then maybe they B1 Zinzara Caitlyn. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I've seen that the presumption.
Yeah. And then here's a real question: How do the bans work out? Do they work out to in or in to out? Okay, so
Uh,
so the Jarvan
yeah,
ban was third. All right, because I thought maybe
yeah,
they
yeah,
banned
yeah, yeah,
Thresh in
yeah. The
response to the
Jarvan game
Jarvan
was
ban.
third.
Okay, the Jarvan ban was third. All right, excellent, cool. So they work out to in. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay.
And I think the Jarvan ban is really intelligent as a responsive ban to Thresh,
Yeah.
the Thresh ban,
Hmm.
because you're not going to have that option to threaten on red side if they first pick it.
Yeah, terrain control is really important. So yeah, yeah, I like it. Let's see what they open up with. Corki
And
TF.
I think TF was pretty influential in the first two games,
Hmm.
so you see it. It's understandable
I mean,
that it's
TF is
banned.
just influential in general. You can blind that easily B1, I
Hmm.
think, and be happy
Yeah.
with it. There are very few picks that really deal with it, and I think that's the pick that everyone tends to go towards being Silas, I think, is a fake counter. It's not real.
Yeah, I think you saw that. You saw it a lot in different regions over
Yep.
this week.
B1 Renekton.
B run
Um,
renekton. Okay.
I think, personally, I prefer Renekton on 2-3. I think what Renekton does in a lot of these comps is basically ensure you're in a good spot for Herald fight when everyone's walking up for it. It gives you a really, really big edge, and if you can leave it on an island and generally make sure that it will be okay. People aren't really drafting things that are okay landing into Renekton if you're not playing towards it. Stuff like
Yeah.
what? They're not drafting Karma. They're mostly just kind of drafting Gragas as an example. I
Hmm.
mean, as an option, just you kind of just put Gragas in the lane. He goes even, maybe slightly down, and you know he
Well, you
exists.
see, you see a lot of teams just doing it for that early Rift Herald controlled, and then flipping the Rift Herald into
Yeah.
either their mid or bot side,
Yep.
and then playing through like the other win condition. They're drafting
Yeah.
around it.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, Renekton's basically just an option for them to get space. I mean, I understand why it's being B1, but like I said, I prefer it on 2-3 if you're going to take it on blue side rather than
But they
B1.
also they also flex it though for Damwon.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, Showmakers played Renekton like a fair number of
This
times.
season or last season?
Last season.
I don't
I'm
know.
not
I
sure
don't
if
think
he's
it's
played
flexible
it
this
this
season.
season.
I don't think it's
Okay.
flexible this season. I feel like the picks that are currently getting picked in mid lane have no
Hmm.
problem dealing with Renekton. Because I think
Yeah.
when you were flexing it last season, you were seeing it flex into stuff like Aurelia and Set
Yeah.
and Silas, right?
Hmm.
Like those picks aren't there, or like they should be, but like they're not like super high
Yeah.
precedence, right? So
I
imagine
think you could
flex. I
flex
think
it into like Yo and Yasuo.
yeah, you
If
still
people are
can,
going to
but
that as
but
well.
nothing's being picked like that, which is why I think the
Hmm.
reactive flex is mostly dead, right?
Yeah, it's just something that they used to use. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised if they still utilize it.
Okay. So let's see what we're getting into on 1-2 on red side. So we have Renekton shown. You can
Because
choose
we
to
have
match
Guma
top
Yushi with
lane with
Aphelios
Karma.
up.
Yep.
So, but they went with Caitlyn instead.
Yeah,
Caitlyn
Kaylin
Karma.
Karma. I think that's good. I think that taking both considering what's left, you see that Thresh is gone, you see that Jinx is gone. You don't want to give Jin Karma as a response. You want to take the Karma now if you're going to take it at all. Because then your only other option is to take Lux, in which case Jin Karma is still fine playing into Kate Lux. Right, so I think you're just fine taking the Karma, knowing that you can take top lane or jungle on 3, depending on which one we prioritize
So
more.
you would consistently, unless one of them is banned, prefer the Karma over the Lux here.
Yes.
Because okay. Because I
Yeah.
think the Lux is a little bit more lane dominant, and with like even into Jin Karma, I think you can get priority through that lane. But I
The
understand what you're
yeah,
saying. And
the
like,
issue that I have with that specifically
mhm.
is that let's say you take Kate Lux here, right? They go Jin Karma, they can go Jin Karma every single time because they're not afraid of Jin's not afraid of being punished for being immobile by the Leona
Yeah,
or fucking Jarvan, right?
Yeah.
He plays really well into Caitlyn lanes, and then the karma makes it so that he doesn't even have to be the one that's necessarily being oppressive. Karma can pretty much
Yeah.
do it. Can pretty much set him up for a lot of situations where you're
And
looking at
yeah,
karma
the
RQ.
complimentary wave
Yeah,
clear. Yeah, and the
yeah,
complimentary wave clear. So I understand what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. It's
No.
karma RQ into pretty much W into an all in, right?
Mhm.
And you're forcing them to essentially take exhaust to deny the all in, and then their kill threat goes down. So it's like, all right, well then why did you even pick the Caitlyn lane, right?
Yeah, because you've been seeing a lot of people have preference for that Lux Caitlyn lane.
Which I think is great, but into Karma Gen specifically, I feel like it's a problem. Karma
Yeah.
is a nice option to pick into Lux supports, but when you're only seeing it with Caitlyn, I feel like you just have to kind of take both right here and just take either top or jungle
Plus
on three.
Dom Juan already having Renekton would get a
Yeah,
lot of value out of Karma. So
yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
So I'm assuming they'll probably still answer with a Jin lane, but the answer is Jin. The question is Jin what? They can go Jin Leona, but I think that's really really rough for them playing it in the Karma, so I don't think they want to do that. Jin Yumi, yeah, that's an option. Yeah, I think Jin Yumi pretty much just sustains through Karma Caitlyn poke and then matches.
Mhm.
Right, so they're pretty much just going to go for Q's into Caitlyn, force out Karma Shield a lot, and then use that Karma Shield force out to force more QW trades with
I
Jin.
think also I think Jin Zillion could be good here too.
I think Zillion gets bullied really hard by Karma and has trouble hitting bombs into either Caitlyn and Karma.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying
Like I
because of
like I like
the
Zillion,
range.
yeah, because of the range. I like Zillion into like Lulu,
Hmm.
and like Sona, but into Karma specifically, I feel like Karma just has way too much pressure early
Yeah,
that
Mantra
Zillion
Q.
just can't match. Yeah.
And since the shield to Q
Mhm.
like a chain adjustment they did, Karma's poke is very
Mhm.
oppressive in lane,
Like
and I can see the Yumi sustain.
yeah, yeah.
And already Renekton is a good target for Yumi in the mid game.
Yeah, like I think that Yumi's probably one of the better options. If you wanted to take a little bit more of a back foot lane, I guess you could take Soraka.
Yeah,
Um,
and Damwon's very comfortable with Yumi. They've
yeah,
been playing it. They played it at Worlds. They've been continuing to play it through this split. So that makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
yeah. So like yeah, Jin Yumi here is fine. I think it pairs nice with reaction, pairs nice with the Jin, and then should be jungle on three here more likely because I don't think they're worried too much about too many top lane bans coming out that they can't find something to play. Like they can take an Ornn if they really want to. They can take a Gragas. They can take pretty much just
Well,
something up there to soak.
yeah, because I don't think they're going to be worried about the town Yumi because we're on 12.2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's after that W nerf that
All
they
right,
put
they take
in.
the Jace. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah, that's fine. I mean, if they're right now, you can see the comp just kind of forming. It's
Hmm.
generally looking to play around Siege.
And I think Jace leans fine into Renekton.
Yeah.
So if matching,
The only thing is
I
you have
think
to
it's a
you
good
have to
match.
realize as the Jace player, you're most likely not going to be played towards, right? Because
Hmm.
things have to happen on the bots and they happen on the setup Herald swap when it needs to happen around 6:37 minutes, right?
Yeah, and you have to be expecting that whatever jungle they pair with Renekton,
Hmm.
it's most likely going to be able to absolutely dominate or dive you
Yeah,
if
for sure.
you're not playing properly. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, both jungles, from what I can see so far, without knowing what they're going to be, I'm assuming we'll most likely be playing towards bot side.
Hmm.
Big things I can note here is there's almost no way Dalmon wants to take Viego.
Diana. Okay.
Yeah, Diana here's. I think honestly picking Diana here would be kind of rough too because you're playing it into Caitlyn, Karma, Chase. Karma's not what you used to be against Diana, where you could just fucking mantra E and put Diana in a spot where just half of her damage is being absorbed for free. But it's still not easy to play into Diana. Okay, so they're
Italy,
denying right.
Italy.
They were denying Next in Italy. All right, that's
Yeah.
fair. Kenyon shown he'll play it. I think he played it earlier this week as well,
Yeah.
didn't he?
I
It
yeah,
lost
and I
because
don't.
Italy's a shit champion, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't think he's been playing that much Talia, so I don't think he's gonna take Talia or anything like that.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he's gonna take Talia either. I also think that Talia hates her life into Caitlyn Jace,
Hmm.
so I don't think that you'd pick Talia regardless.
Yeah, because you don't. She doesn't like poke outside of her range.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So two junglers being banned, two AP, and then they ban Rise specs. Rise makes
Yeah.
sense literally just to be able to play more towards the side lane. Because like at this point you're basically just getting rid of the rest of the side lane picks, right? Like TF is
That and
gone, Corki's
Taker's
gone.
been spamming Rise probably more
Yeah,
than any other champion.
yeah. Especially with the tankier variant coming out, you're more fine as Rise playing into this kind of a team. In fact, this kind of a team would have a nightmare of a time trying to kill tank Rise.
Mhm.
while also not being able to take up his damage, and then Vex is kind of the same thing, just deny prio picks. Faker, I think a Syndra pick would be really nice here, honestly.
Yeah, Syndra Victor would both work well.
Yeah, they would both fit in really nicely with what they're trying to do. But all right, so they're
But
gonna look for mid counter
with
and just
this,
take jungle.
yeah, I mean Xin Zhao's, I
He's one of
like
the best
definitely,
junglers left
yeah, and
right
he's, I
now.
mean, one of the best
Yeah.
junglers in general.
So they take Gwen. I think you mentioned before this game this is a Gwen jungle pick, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe this is the game where they played Gwen
I
jungle.
mean, it's pretty much shown regardless because Renekton's obviously going to be top lane. So yeah, showing Gwen jungle here I think is actually fine. I think Gwen feels okay playing into melees plus range, just with Hollow Ground being what it is. And then we're
Spice,
essentially just taking
Spice.
blind Aurelia. What is left that can actually deal with Aurelia? You can't take Renekton into it. You can take Akali
Uh,
into it, but Akali is
well,
not what you want.
Poppy would also be like what some people would consider.
I mean, you
If
could,
you're,
but the problem with
be,
that is if
you'd be flipping the Jace mid or
mm,
putting the Poppy
no,
directly into the Irelia lane.
I feel like that's rough because you want lanes that can not only move first but move without needing if they need to follow. You don't want them to be able to you don't want them to be scared of walking into darkness, right?
Yeah,
I feel like either of these champions, if Aurelia just catches them in river, they just die from full, right?
fair.
And I don't think that Poppy is necessarily something that you can realistically pick that
Well,
feels super good here.
you have Tryndamere, right? Obviously, a lot of people
Yeah,
love
I love Tryndamere
Tryndamere.
here. I love
Yeah,
Tryndamere here. I think Tryndamere here is great. But you can't pick it because you have no AP. So,
yeah, yeah. So
like,
like it
Tryndamere,
just.
this is a great Tryndamere angle.
Mhm.
So I want to see what he takes. He's probably going to take a losing lane. Yeah, he takes
I think
a skill
I
matchup.
think I think you can also get away with Galio, but
I don't think
LeBlanc, I think,
Galio gives enough.
yeah.
He doesn't give enough prio, and I
Hmm.
also think that he has a way higher of a threat of just dying in the 1v1. So I don't
Yeah,
think you can actually go Galio. Like, there's not a lot of good options here because a lot of the
I
better
think
1v.
LeBlanc is a good option though.
Yeah. LeBlanc is one of your better options left. It's definitely one of your better options left. But I think that
I don't necessarily like Silas or anything like that here,
no,
so I think LeBlanc is pretty good.
yeah, I think a lot of your better options for the 1v1 are bad for the team comp because you want
Hmm.
something that can play into the side lanes. Like all of the stuff that's good for the 1v1 cannot play into the side lanes. In which case you're just kind of denying your whole comp identity, being able to make whether it's 3-man top or 4-man bot work by picking
Now,
stuff like Poppy Akali, right? You're just denying that entirely. So you kind of have to go something that's just going to play even or just play skill matchup into Aurelia, or at least something flippy, because this is kind of a flippy lane. But it at least allows her to play into side lane, because they can take turns
what
moving
if
in.
you went? What if you went something like Xerath here?
Xerath can't move. Xerath can never move, and Xerath struggles heavily
Yeah, because you're
into
not gonna. You have to get to 2 item spike
yeah.
for it to function
Like
compositionally.
you need to be able to leave lane early as Faker with the champions they drafted, right? You have to be able to play into the Caitlyn Carmen lane if you have to. You have to play into the Jace lane if you have to, right? Xerath can't do any of those things
Hmm.
earlier on, right? So I don't think it's something you can realistically take.
Yeah.
And also, if Xerath also is afraid of leaving, because he'll have to take long route back every time if Aurelia doesn't show, right? Because if Xerath runs into Aurelia inside, I mean in river, he's just dead from full, right?
Yes, 100%.
All right, so they put the Renekton mid, like you said. That's surprising. I think Renekton probably has an easier time dealing with LeBlanc than Aurelia does. So less skill shot reliant, more. If you W on me, I basically just Q for sustain and
Hmm.
threaten and you can't really stay on to me to proc electrocute. W has to be used a lot more defensively.
And if you have the wave, you have the ability to double E dash out of chain if you
Yeah,
fuck up.
yeah. Worst case scenario. So yeah, I think this is fine. I'm gonna move this just a little bit so we're not covering summoner
Yeah.
spells. All right, level 1. Basically, yeah, doing this for so that Gwen can't look to force it to play around top brushes early. Because a big way to kind of negate Jace level 1 a little bit is kind of play in and out of bushes, right?
Yeah.
And Gwen, I'm assuming, would do that with her extra range on E. Wait, no, wait a minute. Gwen's
No,
jungle. What
no,
am I talking about?
it's gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna be
Irelia.
Aurelia.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, for so
Well, it's a
Aurelia.
very similar
Yeah,
thing
it's
for
it's the
Irelia as
same
well,
thing,
though.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we're
Even more so because of your Q.
yeah. So we're denying the level 1 basically by just placing that ward there. So if she wants to play up, she'll have to play in middle brush, in which case Jace just wards and runs her down. Just with auto attacks level 1.
Hmm.
God, I can't
I
believe
think
I just
everything
assumed it
else
was
is
Gwen jungle.
is pretty standard.
Yeah. Canyon being up this far is interesting. Looks like he's just going to try to take... Yeah, alright.
So Canyon's gonna
Yeah, I
Raptor
like
start?
this a lot. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
With the
Oh no!
popularity... Oh, he's just going to try to
Wow.
fight him.
He's just gonna.
See, this is something I think can be... it can be abused really hard by certain junglers. People have
Yeah.
been basically just stopped... They've stopped leashing Xin Zhao entirely, right?
Yeah.
Because in a lot of spots, Xin is either 3 or 4 camping to just go to
Yeah.
whatever
So
lane he
this.
actually wants to go,
Yeah,
so he
there's a
doesn't need the
predictable play
leash.
pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's predictable enough that if you know where he's starting, you have a general idea of where he's starting and where he's going to want to go, because you know he's going to
Well,
path
and from
path the
here
bot here.
you have Ghost on Gwen,
Yeah,
so
you
like
just run
you
him down.
really have the ability to run him
Yeah.
down, even
And
if he flashes.
Xin Zhao using flash this early, if he has to flash,
Yeah.
basically means your team he has way reduced pressure on the map. So that's really great for him. So he's going to take a little more damage. She wants to get there before smite because she wants to try to get the smite off. Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is just fucking doomed. Yeah. All right.
Well,
Excellent.
and now he's gonna take Raptor.
Yeah.
So
That's a lot of
that's
patience.
canon.
That's a lot of patience. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of patience. I would have
Well,
just jumped out and played for flash, but
I wanted
you
to
know.
see like what type of like pathing he was gonna do.
Yeah.
He
So that
decided to that was a very good read
yeah.
on like he's gonna do and it makes sense. Yeah, they're
Mhm.
gonna do a top to bot side clear. They're gonna play around. You're gonna want to try to use the Yumi early, right?
Mhm. And this
And
essentially plays for 3 quadrant
yep.
as well
And
because you just go
Jace
wolves in the
can't
bot.
leash. Jace can't leash because he needs to be in the top side, and you
Yeah.
invaded to give him that pressure. So that's a excellent read by
Yeah.
Dom Wong.
Really solid. I think that's a great level 1. All right, yeah, and Xin Zhao is essentially
He's
going to be playing with
yeah.
Only his blue side.
So now
And yeah.
every lane can slow push with the priority generated into crashes,
Mm-hmm.
right? With no.
Yeah. So the laners for T1 still get what they generally need.
Yeah, because like I don't think Gwen can punish any of this.
Yeah. Yeah. LeBlanc wins early on into Renekton in this lane because she basically just plays around range advantage, and the fact that she can kite with W, she's necessarily. It's mostly just auto attacks at this point. I don't want to commit to saying this, but I'm going to say it even though it may sound fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Corrupting Pot is nice, but is there an option to just go Longsword or Deepblade instead?
I
Longsword
mean,
3.
I
'Cause I think
get
that
what you're saying.
yeah,
You're auto harassing a lot,
you're
right?
you're you're playing for Corrupting Burn and you're playing for the extra mana you get from that to actually get the wave fully pushed and not miss anything. And I think that's fine. Is there a world you can go Longsword 3? Probably not. You
I don't
most
think
likely
so.
do need the mana and the corrupting burn to actually play the lane out this way. It's just it's something I thought
And
to think
even
about.
more so, I don't know if you saw the 12.3 LeBlanc nerf.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
The yeah. So
yeah.
you're
You
like
really. Yeah.
you're 1,000,000% going to need the
Oh yeah.
corrupting after next patch.
Yeah.
For the mana regen.
So yeah, so Xin Zhao essentially doing what he did level 1 by not taking leash and not and letting his laners start off in lane. His laners get what they want in terms of they're all essentially getting pushed. They're all getting
Yeah.
prio. They can't invade past this point. But obviously Xin Zhao paid the price.
But it's not like that T1 doesn't have the tools to deal with a Gwen in their composition because
It's not easy though either.
it's not easy.
Okay. So yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about them not being able to necessarily contest push, but they can contest poke.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and Canyon gets everything.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
efficient, clear.
So this essentially
He's
just
way
puts
ahead.
Canyon very far ahead. When he hits level 6, Xin Zhao will not be able to contest ganks for about a minute and a half off what he did early on.
And I think he would will win any
Yeah.
skirmish around any
Oh,
lane.
what's happening here that bot lane has to reset this early? I feel like bot lane shouldn't have to reset this early in this kind of a lane. Like, is the lane easy in terms of push? No. But are you getting harassed so hard that you have to reset down 20? Also, no. I don't think that's the case either. I would like to see. I would have liked to see more. This is like the downside of them getting rid of Pro View and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more of how exactly this lane state came about. I'm assuming they probably stepped into place somewhere level 1 to take a little bit too much harass that led to this, right? Because I don't think there's a world where they're that harassed down 4 minutes or
Well,
40 seconds into the game.
that in pre-W and everything, I think a lot of Yumi players make the mistake of sitting on the Jhin when they should be off,
Yeah.
helping to like both thin the wave, harass, and create space. She's not. I know she's just like an immobile champion, but I think that's a mistake that a lot of players make.
But I don't think it's just that. I also think she should be tanking Qs
Yeah,
for
there's
for Jhin.
for Jhin. Yeah,
Like she should be
so
stepping up in spots and just eating Qs for free. That will allow Jhin to step up and get CS without getting harassed down. Right.
yeah, that's a common mistake you see a lot of Yumi players make.
Yeah.
And like the other thing I really don't like, if we're just commenting on this, is going amp tome right away. You're not looking to win the poke in this lane, in just poke. You want the ability to sustain better, and because of your base mana changes, going fairy charms here, I think would be much more ideal.
You mean going fairy? Because like I think the reason they go Amtome and then get what they get, I think the big problem here is not necessarily the fact they go Amtome. I think it's this.
Yeah.
Like what does this pink ward fucking get you? If we've already established you're going to lose push, right?
Yeah, because you're almost into a forbidden idol, and once you have that amount of regen, you get to free spam her heal.
Yeah, I think that going for the pot here is fine. It's whatever, but I think that once you're doing this, you're probably denying yourself gold that would have gotten you a fairy charm.
Because if that goes amp tome into Bandaglass Mirror, you're not getting that much efficiency out of that item.
Yeah, Bandaglass Mirror as an item fucking sucks. It's really bad.
Yeah, where that early mana regen does a ton in that lane.
Yeah, it helps a ton, especially because of the way that Yumi's W works, just being a flat percentage of her mana.
Yep.
All right. Looks for all in here.
Oof.
Yeah,
nice
that's just
maker.
good. That's just
Good punish. No mana. There's.
All right, Faker uses W. He knows W is down. He puts himself in a spot where he flashes as Faker would want to go back to his W. That's solid. Because Faker's in a spot where he's aware that he either has to go back now or start walking back immediately. The guy's out of mana. His W is about to fucking come down, right? Flashing and making this play right now, Faker literally has no way out of it. I think
that was a really good read by Shoemaker.
Yeah. I think he's much better off.
I don't think Faker feels he's in danger because he's 100% HP. I don't think he thought he was going to get instantly 100-0 there.
Yeah, because if I had to guess what Faker's trying to do around this wave is he's trying to get it in. And he's trying to get it in so he can reset and just kind of walk back, right, without having to burn TP. But the problem with that is once you're out of fucking corrupting stacks, you're out of fucking mana, right? Once you're in this spot, he's trying to auto down Showmaker enough that Showmaker feels like he can't sell up to the wave, regardless of the fact that LeBlanc is 0 mana, right? But once you're at this point and your W is expiring, I feel like you have to just walk off early and just focus on killing this minion, right?
Well, I think that's why they went the Renekton into the mid lane, is because like you have that advantage once the 3 corrupting stacks are through, and because you're a resourceless champion and you have a little bit of amp on your Q, you can stay in lane during that time frame.
Yeah, I do think it's just kind of similar to set mid from last year.
Yeah,
the Renekton pick. It functions basically the same way. But like, yeah, in this play specifically, I literally think it just comes down to the fact that he needs to respect that this is possible. This is probably
especially with Doran Shield. Yeah. But well played by him.
Yeah. It's good. It's good for Showmaker to see it. So this will force out LeBlanc TP as well as put Showmaker on reset without needing to worry about losing anything. Because the big thing is like you can even see Canyon pathing towards the lane to get Showmaker out of it, right? If that kill didn't happen, LeBlanc is still forced out regardless. She's forced to walk out through bot lane, they push in this wave, and then we get Renekton reset, right? And LeBlanc is forced to TP anyway, right? So, regardless of whether Showmaker
catch that whole wave, she's just not going to die.
Yeah, she's not going to die, and she's going to have to burn TP. So you have to burn TP regardless. You may as well just play a little bit more off the wave for it.
I feel like that's a fine time to burn TP though, because you're going to reset.
Yeah,
it's
not
on
the end
Boots.
of the world.
Yep.
It's greeting out a little bit for the TP. I don't like CDR boots on LeBlanc. I don't like it at all, actually, and I like it even less into Jhin, Gwen, and Renekton.
Yeah, I think he thought it was ideal at his buy point. It is very efficient item-wise for like an initial spike, and CDR is good on.
Yeah. Like CDR early feels fine, but I feel like missing out on 18 pen into champions that don't have great access to it. Like Gwen doesn't have good access to it, Renekton doesn't have good access to it, Jhin doesn't have good access to it, right?
Yeah, so you're basically doing true damage.
Yeah, you're getting so much more. Like
Yeah.
Aurelia, sure, she does, right? She has Wits
Yeah.
End. These champions can't build Wits End, and Maws still should add him until next patch or this patch, I guess that just happened. Just showed up today.
12.3. Yep.
So it's like, what the fuck are they gonna build if you just build pen boots? Like I think your best route here, legitimately, if you want to look for an immediate spike, just build fucking Doran's Ring, like Doran's Ring, Dark Seal, and then probably boots, and then just leave the pink ward.
Yeah. I think that's a I
Yeah,
think
so it's
that's a good
300,
alternative.
650.
Yeah, because you're not just gonna
And
go blasting one and
yeah,
come back to
1,000.
lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1050.
Yeah.
You can afford that.
Hmm.
Like, just do that. Get some AP. Get some fucking mana regen. Like, there. God, I fucking love Showmaker's face when he does shit like this. He looks like a fucking goon. Anyway,
Yeah. No.
yeah, just if you want to go for early spike, and you want to go for a buy that feels good. Just buy starting items. Buy instead of fucking
Oh,
things that
Jace gets
you're gonna
6
feel about later.
fire, goes in for an aggressive chunk.
I mean, 6 isn't really like that big of a deal on Jace, but it's more that he's going
Well, like
before
I really
Aurelia can hit, and he
because
wants to crash wave.
exactly because
Yeah.
that's in my opinion that's when Irelia has the ability to actually turn that into a
Yeah.
skill matchup of a lane. Is at that
Is
6 point
level 6. Okay, yeah. That's just I don't think that's a dragon you're allowed to start with your laners where they are right now. I think he's basically just trying to sneak it, see hey maybe they check, maybe they don't. I mean he's on a low enough cooldown where you can realistically do it.
But I do like the early Merc treads on Renekton.
Yeah, solid. I think that Merc treads are pretty good here. Helps into chain. Wait, are Merc treads actually that good here? Tenacity for
I mean,
slows last less long.
Yeah, it slows less long. You have I know the knockup from Xin
Doesn't do
and the
anything.
knock aside, it won't do anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like the slow from that. But in lane, with the roots and everything, I think it does help.
Yeah, I guess if you're building it only for chains, I guess it's fine. Okay.
Chains and the MR. I know you can get more
Yeah.
MR in a better source, but I don't think it's bad. Plus the ability, like you're matching boots for boots.
Yeah.
So I think your tethering and your spacing
I think
is a
that
lot better.
finishing boots early is really nice. Just do the MS playing range into melee, but
Yeah.
the thing I'm thinking is should it be this? And I guess you can't. There's not any other boots you can realistically buy early that feel okay to do. All right.
No, I don't think
That's good.
so. I think in this game state, I think it's the
Yeah.
appropriate buy.
See, I really love that they basically this is what the level 1 has done, right? It's starving
Yeah.
Xin Zhao of so many resources, and again forces a splash. The level 1 being what it was here,
Yeah.
basically makes it so that Canyon just knows where Xin Zhao has to be at any given time, because he knows timers on this one exactly when it was finished, right? He knows the
Mhm.
timer on this one because he knows when he could be back on top side to clear out the 1 minute that he left here. And then this one, I'm pretty sure was just happenstance. They were just like, well, he's not here. He's gonna be on Krugs there, right? Because he has to be on top side. He can't be on bot side yet because blue up hasn't respawned. Yeah, this is more normal for what I can see this lane going. They're still down 30. Jesus Christ. I'm assuming that came from just what happened level 1.
Yeah, because like if you get like the Yumi right now,
Mm-hmm.
she's got one more heal till she's out, and
Yeah.
if you have that mana regen, you get 2 more of
Yeah,
those
you
heals
could. Yeah,
in
if
that time
depending on
frame.
time. Yeah.
Depending on time frame.
Because
But now she's completing
mm-hmm.
right, and like
Like
she has to now hop off to auto to even try to get a
yeah.
heal.
The big thing of what's happening bot side and even mid lane to an extent before the solo co happens is literally just set up by Canyon.
Yeah.
Like Canyon doing what he did is and basically make sure that Xin Zhao will have literally no presence on the map at all for the first 9 or so minutes of the game, assuming you play it out correctly.
It makes sense that they would then try to play through bot side.
Yeah. Yeah, because it makes it so Kayle and Karma are never afraid to walk up. They're never afraid to do anything because they can't be there, right?
Yep. And they get those kills onto the LeBlanc. That's so good. That's really gonna accelerate her past. That makes that Lucidity boot buy not seem nearly as bad.
Yeah, I also think I just mixed up Gwen and Xin Zhao pretty badly.
Mhm.
That's my fault. Why didn't you say anything, you son of a bitch?
Well, Elijah, I'm gonna let you go if
Fuck
you're
you,
ranting
man.
and mislabeling the champions.
I
I'll
do
let.
this. I do this all the time. It's so sad.
Yeah, but Canyon is really like the verticaling is just creating like that. All that's all Zin can do is play
Yeah.
through bot side.
I think it'd be much worse for him. I think it'd be much worse for Dom One in general if Canyon hadn't have done what he did, because I think that Xin Zhao is actually just as strong as Jin right now, and is able to essentially
Yeah.
just dive bot lane over and over
Mhm.
and over again on repeat with Faker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets played
Yeah.
out. Use the Renekton pressure and the fact that Aurelia is winning topside now.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Jace can't fight in a wave that big and
hmm
just got completely all in and out traded.
Yeah. It also the level one from Gwen also puts Dom on a spot where they can't push the Jace lane to where it has to be.
Mhm.
Ideally, you're in a spot where you could potentially look for a play, even if he's clearing top to bot. You look for a play around the what would be the time around that? Around like the 4:30 mark
Are you
for
talking about for T1? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, for
yeah.
T1. Yeah,
For,
you go
T-
for,
for,
yeah,
for T1, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
If he's clearing top to bot,
second
yeah,
rotation,
second rotation back on top
second
side.
rotation of the Zinzao
Yeah.
4 to 4:30, depending on
hmm
clear and what play that they've made.
Yeah.
He could be on top side, and you
They
can
could look for a
crash
dive. They could look for yeah.
wave 6 to 7.
hmm
Yeah, because you have cannon wave at 4 minutes,
hmm
right? So I agree. Like
Yeah. It denies him that play
that's
entirely though.
yeah,
Yeah. So like
and
actually
because
like
you can never be going into play when Gwen is present.
hmm
Because
with how
if they're
strong
going
she's
into
going to
her right
be,
now, yeah,
he's just
especially with
perma
Ghost
down
up.
levels.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate because it's just like Xin Zhao can't help the lane he has to help. He can't help the lane he has to help on the timer he has to help them. Bot
Mm-hmm.
lane's fine, like, but that's what bot lane has to be. And then Faker dying makes it much worse for them because it makes it so they can basically never contest the Herald, and the Herald obviously just takes down mid lane. All right, T1 swap. Hold on, let me see T1's map movement here. So right after this play, Caitlyn resets before the dive even happens because she knows she has to be mid lane. All right, cool. Yeah, that's fine. Then she just catches the wave and defends from there.
Yeah. Like that Jace, I mean Zeus Justine. You have to take short trades into the Aurelia.
Yeah.
You can't let it get extended.
I also feel like the fact that he dies with flash up shows
Yeah.
how doomed the fight actually was. Flashing just doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He gets caught on a
Yeah.
reset. Yeah, you see, look, he should have reset right there. He
Yeah.
steps up when he shouldn't. Yep. You can see it on the mini map.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. Look at where his mana was and the
Yeah,
position
he's
in the
just
lane.
doomed.
He
Well,
should have
at
been
least he didn't
reset.
flash.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. Like I've seen players
hmm
flash there more often than I'd like to. Yeah. So this is looking. Gold doesn't show it fully, but it's looking pretty bad for T1, I think.
Yeah, and like the executioners buy, I don't really love here. I understand that Jace wants to be in the 1v1,
Mhm.
but I don't think the little bit of sustain from Vamp Scepter is going to change the fact that she just finished Ninja Tabby.
Yeah. I mean, he's more buying it because he needs it for the game anyway. It helps a little
Yeah.
bit in the 1v1. He's not going to win it regardless, so he may as well just pick it up now. I'm assuming
Mhm.
he had 800 gold. It's like, do I finish boots or do I buy 2 longs or do I just buy executioners?
Mhm.
Right? You may as well get the little bit of utility and miss out on 10 AD or 5 AD, right?
Yeah. But now in that volatility, you have like the Aurelia has so much more priority in that
Yep.
lane now.
I mean, I think Aurelia just already has priority. Like, there's nothing you can do about this. Like, Xin Zhao can't come out to break this freeze because he's so far behind in jungle. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How did this even get set up? So you mean her walking up. Zeus is basically okay. Yeah.
Yeah, as he just walks into
Yeah, he's
get
trying
vision.
to get vision so you can look to see to walk up to see if we can break freeze with QE or something.
I
And
guess the presumption is because they're fighting on bot side that Canyon wouldn't be there yet.
yeah, but
But
you know what? I actually think that Showmaker may be trying to make them think that Gwen is on bot side by what he's
yeah,
doing. Yeah.
Mhm. That's what I think probably
Yeah.
happened.
Showmaker flashing on the block. He's like, well, Xin Zhao can't do
And
anything
because
realistically.
the last
So
time that happened, right? Canyon was
Mhm.
right there. Really good responsive play.
yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Excellent respawn to the TP.
We
That's a
need to
bad
slow this down a little
TP.
bit.
Yeah, we need to slow it down a tiny bit because that was a little bit action packed right there.
Yeah. Right. So Canyon dies.
Okay,
Jin
so
100% isn't allowed to sell it to this wave, is he?
yeah,
Like I feel like
because if they can just get topside
yeah.
and then Showmaker's catching bot, so just have Jin at inner tower right now.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we know for sure is that Xin Zhao isn't bot and Karma isn't showing anywhere else, right? So worst case, for the best case scenario for him, they're both just walking up to give Caitlyn some sort of fucking backup, right? What's most likely happening is either they're walking through here or they're walking through here, right? They end up walking through topside. I'm assuming because they were probably on their way to try to help break Freeze top
Mhm.
before Jace dies. So it's like in any scenario, you basically just have to give this wave or just ult for it before it
That's what I was
comes
about to
in.
say.
Yeah,
Why don't you just double trap the way by the
yeah,
tower, back off to inner and ult?
yep. You ult
Because
for
you're
you ult
not
for it
gonna
as it's coming in.
yeah, and you have nothing like that you're gonna be contesting very in the next like
Yeah,
you
you got
know
4 minutes on
like
Drake, 2 minutes on Herald,
yeah yeah.
right?
That's what I was saying. Like this, I think this is when you use Jin ult to clear wave.
hmm Easily, easily. Because it's a spot where you're not allowed to be up there to clear it anyway, but you don't want to leave because it's a cannon.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
And then you burn your flash plus. Okay. Okay.
And then the fact that the fact that
Oh,
this TP comes in,
TP.
we're TPing into
Yeah.
Caitlyn.
Yeah, you should never TP into a Caitlyn sieging a
Yeah.
tower.
All right.
And
So
yeah.
yeah, we're TPing into Caitlyn. Obviously, she gets just fucking one shot. Maybe if Showmaker has flash, that can go a different way, and he just
Yeah.
flashes the wall. But
Because this resulting in. Okay, they took okay. Because
yeah,
if T1 had gone first tower there, that would have been devastating.
I mean, yeah, but first tower mid lane was already gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, first tower mid lane is
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
forgot.
first
Yeah.
tower mid lane
Sorry,
got
that was
taken by
so
Herald.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was something like
I
like
forgot.
3 4 minutes back. But yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
forgot they
yeah.
got like a 9-minute first tower.
So like T1's bot lane is very very strong. Yeah, but Gwen plus Yumi, who's gonna deal with this combo later on? Who's gonna deal with the Aurelia plus Yumi later on? Right? Like I don't think that
It,
Karma is
it's
stopping.
gonna be tough.
Yeah,
Karma, you have because you have Karma W, right? You have Jace hopping in and like
just
keeping like
pressing E,
space
I
on that.
guess.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Xin Zhao
I
trying to
don't
knock
see a
her away.
world
I mean,
where
Xin can go in.
yeah,
You have to either be playing around the CD of like that 9 seconds you're gonna have late game when her hollowed mist is down
hmm
on the and engaging on her on there, or you have to pick the rest of the composition. I mean, the one thing is that like their only range is Jin,
yeah,
and they have the ability to like space them and outpoke them. So if they're dancing on a objective, I would still favor T1
yeah,
if they get
yeah.
into like
I think
a
if T1 is
dancing.
posted up first, they do a good
Mhm.
job of zoning them out of the pit, cutting them down with a poke first. I think that's fine. But with the way the map currently looks, right? You're seeing first tower down here, tower down here. I'm assuming they're going to make a play for bot tower fairly soon, right? If these three go down, I think that Damwon gets on objective first every single time,
Yes.
right? Because I think that they just have more access points. They have access points to cut off through here, so they can go through either sideline. If they can get mid pry, which they should be able to, because this is down, they can push into here, while T1 doesn't have that ability to yet, right? I literally just think that they just have more access points and more ability to cut T1 off of the of access points for
They
later objectives.
true, but the one thing that T1 does have is the ability to generate like wave priority right now because Caitlyn Karma is way ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Over the Jin and over the Renekton and over the Aurelia.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I think they can pick one lane and get priority through that, but I think that one lane isn't enough. I
Yeah,
think like
but
I don't think that
yeah,
mid
yeah.
prio is going to let you post up an objective first, right?
No. I don't think it will, but it might allow them to eke in like a little bit of
Yeah,
quadrant control, and then make poke and picks off of that.
yeah. Well, we'll have to see how they use the
Yeah.
pressure on Caitlyn Karma because I think that's again literally all they have right now.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not your red buff owner. It
And he's
hasn't been
aware.
since level 1.
That's good. That's good that he's aware and he didn't even check. All right, so it's a 600 gold lead, but I think this has a chance to snowball pretty quickly. Like, and I do think that like T1 scaling is very, very nice this game.
Oh man,
I feel
you're
like
just so.
if they get there, the
Mhm.
rest of the team that's not Gwen has a lot of trouble dealing with LeBlanc and dealing with Jace poke.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just Gwen Yumi with
Yeah,
the
Gwen is
Yumi ultimate
scary. Gwen is scary.
and the Gwen E. It's just that's very very scary.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what Birdall was thinking.
It's just giving away gold, I guess. Who knows? All right, so Jin is again in the spot where he can now catch waves. Excellent. Yeah, Canyon's just way ahead of the
Okay,
game
so
right now.
yeah, but
Yeah.
what I like from T1 right now is rather than knowing they know they can't control their bot quadrant, right? So they are just keeping like second rift as an option for them
hmm
when they go to do dragon, if they can keep it up during that time frame, keep a little bit of control, and just try to get their mid prio.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because they definitely can't fight that.
Yeah, LeBlanc's holding TP. They're basically looking to set up their waves. Yeah, they're setting up the waves right now for second Herald.
Ooh.
LeBlanc can't TP to a minion for
Yeah.
another
Oh
5
my
seconds.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Gwen.
Yeah, that's a good
Yumi is
timer.
just.
That's a really, really good timer.
Yeah.
Showmaker literally just ults just to make sure he can't get one shot by LeBlanc. That's all that realistically
Because like
matters.
now that she has like the Moonstone with like the Mandarin and everything,
hmm
Yumi's like there. I would have been very like I think the Luden's build would have been very bad here this game. I like the Moonstone.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think the Luden's build is necessary. I think you just have to keep them alive because it puts them in just like such an awkward spot where even if he could TP, this guy's just running Faker entirely
Yeah.
off. He
Yeah.
he pops Dominus literally just so he can't be one shot. That's the only fucking reason. Damwon making a play on that timer, I think, is really, really nice. Like
Yeah.
this is kind of what I was talking about by when these outer towers are gone, it makes it so much more difficult to make a play on these first towers, especially in side lanes.
Yeah, true, but that Karma Caitlyn priority did just get the
Yeah,
mid tower,
yeah, it did, it
eventually,
did.
right?
In return, yes.
Yep, in return. So it allows them to at least make trade plays.
Yeah, but are the trade
And
plays
this is,
worth it? Because now they lose Herald off this,
yes.
and it's going to make it worse. I'm assuming if they lose Herald, what's most likely going to happen is they're going to turn that either into a mid inhibitor around the time that Baron can be up. Like they could maybe get it around
Yeah,
what
yeah, that's
17, 18 minutes where there's still some
mhm.
spawn time. Probably around a minute or so before while with Baron up. Can they do it on spawn?
I mean,
Probably
you're
not.
gonna have a two-item Gwen.
Yeah, the Gwen does damage. The Aurelia will do damage, but you're also playing with Jen, so
Yeah,
it's kind of like a 50-50, right?
yeah.
Like, can you do it? Probably not. They're probably going to use it to secure a dragon later on, probably in
It's just
46
Canyon
seconds.
Jungle.
Yeah, they're going to use it to pop open tier 2 mid and then secure dragon at the same time.
And
They're
what's
going
so
to walk it
nutty
in
is
and then
that
walk
like
back.
Yumi doesn't leech any jungle EXP off
Yeah,
of the jungler
she doesn't have
attachment.
to.
Yeah, so once you have her attached to a jungler like that, it's just so efficient for
hmm
that person to just be like on that because Yumi doesn't need levels at this point. It's just
Yeah.
really nice.
Literally, what's going to happen is Gwen's going to clear her top side and then reset. And what's
Yeah,
literally going to happen is they're going to, what's it called? Group is 5. Walk this in, use Herald, make sure it crashes, exit this way, and you take Dragon.
yeah.
Every single time. And they just get that for free.
This would be a very. I hope. My hope is we get Hexgate this game. I think this would be a very interesting Hexgate soul.
Let me think. How does Hexgate affect the map realistically for either team? I want to say it makes it so that T1's lives are so much fucking harder.
Yeah, I believe so, right?
Yeah.
Because Damwon being able to use Hexgates with a Gwen Yumi seems very scary.
Yeah, especially having the
because
towers down they already have.
yeah, yep. So I think that would be the most interesting one.
Mm.
Now that we don't have, thank God, Chem Drake's soul
Gone.
to worry about
Yeah.
anymore. Chem Tick.
Ooh. Yeah, Gwen is just a fucking goon. Yep. You see
I mean,
T1 pinging on
it's
mid
kind
lane,
of
yeah.
it's so ridiculous how much when you look at her base armor, then the armor value she gets from W,
Yeah,
and her having
it's
Ninja
pretty
Tabby,
extreme.
it's really extreme.
So I
Like,
think it's actually really interesting right here what Dom One's essentially elected to do.
yeah,
Canyon staying to clear his entire blue side and them not looking to post up around mid lane. I'm assuming the
Yeah,
reason they don't post around mid lane for Herald is just because of the fact they feel like they can't contest into Caitlyn Karma. That's fine. That's fair. This also shows something that I personally something I like is that I like that's really happening in the league community in general. If you don't get first dragon, second dragon's not worth it. The
makes
fact that
sense.
there's only fucking one, and you have Herald, you basically say, yeah, go ahead and take dragon as long as I'm making a cross map play, which I'm assuming is going to be right here. It doesn't matter, right? And I like that a lot. I think that's really solid. Instead of trying to force, because like I think right now one of the worst things you can do is try to force a 5v5 at this objective into
Yeah.
Caitlyn right now into where they're strong. Because I think that that's a spot they can really turn the game
Well,
if they're there first.
especially at the spike points that you're at.
Yeah.
Because they have the Everfrost for the lockdown on you. You have Jace with the Eclipse, right? And he does already have the investment he has into having heal cut, so that negates the work vamp
Yeah.
of the Irelia trying to like vamp tank throughout the fight, right? I like the Prowler's Call adaptation on the Renekton for
You can
like
do a
side
full
laning,
range team. Yeah.
right? Yeah, but in team fighting, right, it's going to make him very squishy, right? He's like a glass cannon trying to have Dominus keep him alive. So I don't think they want to shred a 5v5 right now.
Yeah. The main way I see it is that Renekton's job in team fights is not necessarily to be the front line that he normally is. It's more to put him in a spot where if you jump on me or you try to make a flank, I one shot you.
Yeah, T1
Right.
has to be very, very cautious about when they send Xin Zhao or Jace into the enemy team.
Hmm.
Because they can almost never do so if they haven't chunked them out completely.
So if Jay steps here, he
I,
gets
I, I
filled.
got to give Showmaker a lot of credit for like staying very CS in that lane.
I mean, it can't be that difficult once you get Prowler's Claw. Because, like I said, you threaten one shot on a block fairly easily with Prowler's
Yeah,
Claw. Yep, they don't take it. All right, that's fine.
really close to.
Yeah, close
But
enough.
they get that inner and they funnel
Hmm.
because I imagine Canyon's like after this next little clear is going to be on Riftmaker and be at 2 items
Hmm.
by the like 17-minute mark, and that's just absolutely ridiculous for Gwen.
All right. So next, it's gonna be Hexgate. Yeah. So we got Hexgates come out.
Nice.
Got Hextech Drake coming out, meaning that Dom1, if they want to play side lane, right? If Dom1 wants to play side lane,
I will say there's one nice thing if you are playing a poke composition, right,
hmm
and you fuck up a little bit and you have people get low on resources. Hexgate does let you get back there a lot quicker.
I don't think that means anything in this game specifically.
Okay. I'm
Like,
just saying, and like that, I think that's one of like the nice little effects of
hmm
Hexgate is that like when you don't have TP available sometimes in your carries,
yeah,
it just lets you get back to there very quickly.
yeah. I think that the only Hexgate that realistically matters for
Ooh,
T1, at least.
ooh, Faker,
Whoa.
nice.
But yeah, I think the only Hexgate that realistically matters for T1 is the one coming out of their base. I don't think they're ever going to be they're going to be a spot for a while, or they're
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
using
yeah.
either of the other ones. All right, we got
Yeah,
shield.
I don't think anyone can punish Canyon with a Yumi on it.
Yep. I think it's really going to be we're going to need to see a lot out of Faker for T1 to actually win this game because he's going to have to find flank angles that actually deny a lot of the damage from Gwen and Aurelia before the fight starts.
Now, from
So,
a like, do you believe that there's a point in this game though where scaling matters for these compositions?
yes, but only if T1 gets next Drake, right?
Mm-hmm.
If T1 gets next Drake, then I think we hit a point in the game where scaling matters. Because it only really matters assuming that Dom1 is forced to team fight,
Yes,
right?
because I think this soul is very overpowered.
Yeah, I think it's strong. I think it's strong. Dom1 is only forced to
Especially
team
if you
fight though if they get the
outrange
next one.
the enemy's comp
Hmm.
with this soul, it's very oppressive.
Yeah, because I think that right now, one of the best things that could happen
Ooh,
in
nice.
terms of trades for Dom1, that's just a nice play. One of the best things that happen in terms of trades for Dom1 is
Don't think you
trading
want.
Soul Point for Baron, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only trade you can realistically make for Soul Point that feels good. Because like if you trade an inhibitor, it's fine. Like T1 basically just absorbs gold probably into Jace. Ooh. Dude, you need to see where your fucking bolts are going. I don't know if that's a spectator thing, or he can see it or he can't, but okay, yeah, that's really, really big. That's a lot of gold
Nice.
on Gwen. Hold on, can he see which direction his bolts go?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay,
He can optically see it. So he
nice.
saw the dash back on
Okay,
his screen, but it's very hard. Like it's a
it's
very hard
small, it's
thing,
difficult. Yeah.
and players aren't used to it still. Like I know Gale Force, they should all be 1,000,000% used to every
hmm
effect of it, but some like that's a little minute detail.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What would you think about just taking instead of Gore Drinker, just Stridebreaker here on Aurelia,
Um.
based off the fact that she's playing into 4 ranged with decently high mobility?
Yeah, because of the. I think it's kind of. I mean, Stridebreaker is. You probably might get more use out of it in here because of that scenario, because they're not going to be as bunched, so you're
Yeah,
never going to get that multi Gore Drinker proc
yeah.
that you normally build it for.
So essentially, you're just building it for the 10% Omnivamp, in which case you already
Yeah.
have some from Bork, and your
Bork, yeah.
and your passive, and just like Q procs. So it's like, what do you like? Do you really need the extra lifesteal? You're not getting sustain that you would otherwise. You may as well just guarantee kills by just getting onto them, and then just Stridebreaker auto attacking them to death. And then you're also getting extra MS with auto attacks with Stridebreaker.
Yeah, if they're flashless, I could see that being effective. But I
Yeah.
think you don't have an. I think you have less of an issue getting onto them because you're Aurelia.
hmm
So I think
I
that
just think
person
it could
likes
put
the
her in a
extra
spot.
vamp.
Sorry.
Yeah, in the side lane, I think that extra vamp it does help though in the individual 1v1 versus LeBlanc or Jace.
I think versus LeBlanc doesn't. I think LeBlanc kills her anyway because she has nothing LeBlanc can actually hit.
Yeah,
Like
she doesn't have a wits end, so
yeah, she has her wits end. The way that I literally see it is Stridebreaker adds the interaction where she no longer has to hit E. She can just
mhm.
have 3 stacks Q directly to you.
On and then
Yeah,
Stridebreaker
and then
proc
just
because
Stridebreaker and just auto you to death.
mhm,
That's the way
that's
that I
fair.
see it. Or even 2 procs and just QW. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's the way that I see it. That's why I'm like, if you just do that, Jace can. He already has a hard time matching you, but Jace
I'd have
can't
to
match
see how
you.
it is with the new because in 12.3,
hmm
right? There's the changes now,
Okay. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so
We'll
I
see.
think we'll see how it is going to be in the next patch.
Yeah.
But for the current patch, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. So Gwen takes that
12.2.
after getting the shutdown. Gwen is buying away the strongest player in the game, aside from maybe I don't know if LeBlanc would be ahead of her in gold or not. Probably not, but it's close. Right? Yeah.
I would think Kenya would be ahead because of so many jungle camps plus the kills,
hmm
first blood as well. Okay.
He's just got nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
All right. So next dragon time is 57 seconds. They got a good reset for it. It looks like right now T1 should
I
be
mean, they're
looking to
growing
push
to
out
like
waves. Yeah.
they're growing to like a basically a 3K gold advantage.
hmm
This is really good. I
Yeah.
really should be on Mythic soon. It's going to be really hard for them. I
hmm
think they can 1-3-1 very effectively
Oh, easily. Yeah.
because like I mean, can I even if there are 4 versus a 3, I don't think they win if it's Jin, Yumi, Gwen.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's just this guy's just fucking dead. All right. Nice.
That was a little close.
Yeah,
That
it's close.
was close, but
It was
he was
close.
dead no
Yeah.
matter what. Yeah.
So that basically
But
secures dragon for them, and they're able to not
yeah,
only get dragon
owner
but
feels
also
good for the first time ever. He gets to take some of Canyon's jungle
hmm
this game. Takes the blue buff.
and then Figure just agrees to the cross map. Yep,
Yeah.
this
Yep.
is fine. Right, so the game is not spiraling fully out of control, but
Yeah, because
losing this third
that's
dragon
like
hurts a lot.
yes. This is really good for Damwon.
Yeah, this is like what I was talking about a second ago, where like scaling doesn't really turn into a factor until they get soul point. And
Yeah.
if you play to deny soul point, then it never really turns into a factor. Because like now it's oh, okay, Sunder.
I like Sunder here. I like
Yeah, I'm
Sunder
fine
here a
with it.
lot.
I'm fine with it. Because like I was even talking about, I was like, I don't think Gordrinker really gets you that much. If you're not gonna go try, you may as well go Sunder.
Yeah. You can't anymore because if it's going to be current HP instead of max HP.
Yeah.
But
I think they got rid of that actually.
oh really? I'll have to check.
Yeah,
Alright,
we'll
cool.
double check. It's next
Yep.
patch, like what or they is current patch.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, I have to double check that. And apparently they also shipped the Triforce changes.
Hmm.
Except instead of 3%, they made it 4%, which still is really, 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 really bad. But hey, whatever. I guess we just don't want Sheen players to have a good item other than
Yeah, owner, you still
Retriever.
don't get to walk into that part of your jungle. That's been Canyon's
I mean,
all
it's just
game.
the jungle. It's just the jungle in general at this point. Like, it's
Yeah.
the jungle in general. Like, it's a situation where invading red side jungle is and always will be a million times easier than invading blue side jungle.
Hmm.
Just because blue side jungle only has like realistically one exit point. Like
Yeah.
red side, if you have a dash or you have obviously like this
Blast
thing,
cone. Yeah.
yeah, there's way too many ways out of red side jungle that are fairly safe and low risk.
Hmm.
So if you're blue side, you like I think that blue side has a slight advantage, or actually a fairly large advantage when it comes to playing around Baron because of how easy it is to invade for red side vision. All right, so they get
Um,
in. What's up?
I don't like them forcing Baron here. I think threatening it is fine, but like actually hard committing to it, I don't think is a good idea.
So the thing is, I don't think they are hard committing to it.
Okay.
I think this
If
is a
they
play. I think this is a play
well,
for
let's see what
JSTP.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah,
because if it's a play for JSTF and they back off here and they burn
yeah.
things, that's great. If they force this play, I think that's a mistake.
I think that they're happy to 50-50 it. If they get to the point where Jace still isn't there, or Jace, or they're not threatening to push them off,
Yeah.
and they're at around 3K, you flip it because you have Jin,
Hmm.
right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah. Like if
Yeah.
Jace were to TP right now, you back off. All right. Oh wait, no, yeah, they're not going in because the thing is, in order for them to actually back off, Jace would have to TP in a spot with the rest of his team
Yeah.
walking in with him,
Hmm.
right? But because he's not doing that, they get this every single time. This isn't even a
Now
3v3. This is
now
like a fucking
yeah
90-20, or sorry, 90-10. Jesus Christ, 90-20.
yeah.
Yeah. And he's gonna
But
auto one more
there's a
time, and he
chance that there's gonna be a
holds.
fight.
There it is. Yeah.
Yep.
It's doomed. Yeah, the game's over. The game's over
Oh
from here.
yeah.
From here, it's like super, super doomed.
Okay.
Canyon's got
Yeah,
Ghost going. Yeah.
because you know what? Yeah, I see your point there, Elisha. Because like they're so late to it, and you're gonna force
Yeah.
like by the time they've responded to it, if they had TP'd earlier, then backing, I would want them to back off.
Yeah. But you have to TP while threatening
And can
engage.
you know what? And
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that Canyon is so unbelievably strong right
Yeah,
now.
he's piss strong. He's piss strong. Your poke isn't strong enough to really do anything because we have rapid fire fucking Caitlyn second,
Yeah.
right? We have Jace 0-5 at this stage in the game. He's not like they're not strong enough to force them off. The only person that can actually force them off with damage is LeBlanc.
Yeah.
But the problem is with Renekton. Renekton was zoning. Let's actually just go back to fucking show this take. 'Cause I think this Baron take was actually really really nice to look at, right? Because if you see Showmaker basically just hanging around here, right? Knowing that like when it starts, LeBlanc is over wall, Showmaker's zoning out of
Yeah,
this
and like
entrance, right?
because I'm thinking you have Jin, right? But they have so much consistent DPS with that Gwen right now.
Yeah,
The Gwen Aurelia Jin is melting.
it's more than
I
enough.
think I underestimated how quickly they were going to melt Baron with their team.
Hmm. Yeah, they have a ton of percent health damage.
Yeah,
Like
makes a lot of sense because
Gwen,
you have the Bork on the Aurelia.
Hmm.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
yeah, Renekton being where he is, denying them access here, because like
Yeah.
Renekton's gonna walk up, he's
Because
gonna
they
make it so
they're
that they have to back off.
yeah. Yep. And they're
Yeah.
like and they do go for it and they blow
Yeah.
double sums. Yep, it's a good play. I agree.
So yeah, Renekton initially kind of just showing where he is around here, just kind of zoning them away from entering and making them afraid to enter. Because the big thing is that if they don't have vision on Renekton, their big fear is Renekton walks in and just one shots someone. And if Renekton one shots one person, even if he dies, DK win the fight from that point.
Hmm.
Right? It doesn't matter who it is, as long as that person dies, they get one shot. All right, cool. They're
Yeah,
fucking happy.
normally whenever your team has like a numbers like an equal trade and you still have
Yeah.
a Yumi carry up, you're gonna win.
Yeah, Faker checks
Yep.
with fucking Chain. Right? He sees. They're doing it. They have no vision. They can see the Baron, but
Yep.
nothing else. Right? And they spend so much time walking in so late because Renekton's not even fucking there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
he knows is that he has to be off vision, and they can't walk in.
Yep.
As long as he's off vision, they can't walk in because they know he's in the area. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so they go with like a pick over the wall.
Yeah.
Yep. And they get no poke in during that.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good vision play. I think by Renekton, and it's a good call by Dom1 to do that, knowing that you have Jhin, knowing you have all that burn. You say, hey,
Because
TP now.
normally you don't want to like dance around to get
Yeah,
absorb that poke, but they didn't. I thought that was very well executed.
yeah, it's TP now or you lose. That's all it comes down to.
Yep.
TP right now or you lose. And then that TP, let's be realistic, that TP either turns into an inhibitor bot side, or jungle control bot side, or Baron later. Like that TP turns into something every single time. Right, this guy dies. That's fine. They still get inhibitor. That's the point. That's the thing that I think
Yeah,
really
they
matters.
still get inhib
Yeah.
and inhib tower topside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but
Yeah.
that's a decent hex kick flank by LeBlanc and them if
Yeah,
they shove too far
I
up.
think that the idea is nice, but the problem is, what's it called?
Yeah, because they step up
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Dom1 has to not have vision of it. Does Dom1 have vision of them going on this? Yeah, they do. If Dom1, as soon
Okay.
as Dom1 sees them go through, they just step
Yeah.
forward. Yeah,
Mm,
I
yep.
think it's a thing where if Dom1 doesn't see you go for it, it's good, but they see it. Unfortunate. Like, all right, well, we just step forward and you guys just fucking lose the 3v3 every time. Sorry, 3v4 every time. Because it
Mm.
takes them so long to actually get back to Dom1 that doesn't matter.
Oh, but Canyon
All right, yeah.
dies.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does result in them getting a really good cleanup.
Mhm. They lose
That's
inhibitor.
actually
Baron's off the
that's
map.
actually
Yeah.
fairly big. I think they just lost about 2.5k extra gold
Yeah.
that they would have
And
been up
and and
right
all
there.
Barons are on. All Barons are dead.
And all Barons are dead.
Yeah.
That's huge. I think Canyon just overstepped
I
because
think they
he
were.
got like Karma W'd under the Nexus towers.
I mean, they were put in a spot where they have to step forward as soon as they go through the hex gates,
Mm,
right? Like
yeah,
they either step forward and look for the fight, or they look for what's it called to step forward to push them off here and then exit through here,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
One of two. No matter what, someone dies.
yeah.
But it looks like they just overcommitted for the fight under, and Karma played it really well. Because I think the
Yeah,
idea to go for the fight
and
is fine.
Burdell getting dead here. Yeah,
Yeah, the idea to
yeah.
go for the fight itself is fine. But it's
Mm,
like Bertle doesn't need to take down that tower right now. He can literally just sit with the next
yeah, it
wave
was
coming
one in.
in
Yeah,
and just let the wave fucking kill it while he's rotating up. While he's rotating either dancing on it or rotating to mid, right? I think it's just Faker finding good
yeah.
angles on LeBlanc.
On LeBlanc and the Mantra.
Yeah.
I mean the Karma W.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that went from a game over to still a game.
Yeah, the game's still it's still there, but I think the base being as open as it is right now is not good. It's not as soon as inhibitor towers go down against
Hmm.
a team
I
that
mean,
wants to play side lane, as long as they play it correctly, it gets very difficult to actually win
but
without being on soul point.
you are at 3 item Caitlyn now.
Yeah, you're at 300 Kalim,
Uh,
but are one of the items Infinity Edge?
no, I was about to say
Yeah.
she's not on Infinity Edge yet, but with the LDR, she is at the point where her trap headshots are doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're doing a fair amount. I don't know. It feels like I'm not really scared until LeBlanc hits death cap and Kaylin hits IE, right?
Yeah,
Until that point, I don't care. I'll continue playing side lane all day, and it has to be that plus you getting soul point. Like
yeah.
we have to be contesting soul right now. That's when I'm scared. You have your
Oh
items.
wait, LeBlanc does have death cap.
Okay, LeBlanc got death cap. All right. So LeBlanc has death cap. We have to be contesting soul. 40 seconds
I
till this
mean,
shit comes up. But Dom1 has
but
full control
Gwen
over
also does
jungle.
have cosmic
Yeah.
and heading towards Zonia's.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's fine. They're literally
Gale
just
force
forcing out
out.
mobility
Yeah,
early.
yep. Provide space.
Yep.
Yeah,
Space for them to get in bot side. Right. And because of this, they basically force all lanes in, force
yeah,
out TP, and they make us that this dragon's now uncontestable.
yeah. So now they get the second Drake.
Yeah.
This is really good for Damwon.
Yeah, this dragon's just not contestable. Like this is why breaking open the base means so fucking much. Because you no matter what, you're gonna have mid prio, and you can turn that mid prio into plays on bot side or top side,
Hmm.
depending on which side you want to go towards. This case, bot side because it's dragon. I still think that Dom 1 is heavily in control of this game, just based off general map state.
Hmm.
The
But
question,
in like 2 to 5 minutes, this gold advantage is going to be very negligible.
well, the question I mostly have is does inhibitor stay down for next Baron?
Hmm.
If the question is yes, I don't think it'll matter because I think they get next Baron and they end off that.
I think inhib's going to be up by the next Baron.
Okay, so if inhib's up,
Yeah.
Faker TP will still be down. Yeah, I think they can force a similar play that they did last time. They could either force a
Because Caitlin's going to be close to having IE
yeah,
at that point. I mean,
because
because
I
she's been catching these big.
yeah
Yeah, she might actually get it off this wave.
because but I think what's happened is that you're not actually forcing the Baron this time. What you're
Hmm.
doing is you're playing around the fact that Faker's not going to have he's not
TP.
going to have TP. This guy can't match Aurelia. That's the second part. And
Yeah.
the third part is Aurelia still has TP. So what you're
Yeah,
basically going
and
to do is you're going
and
to
it
place
really has Derek's now, so
yeah
you can't.
yeah.
Yeah. She can now, even with Death Cap, I think survive side laning versus LeBlanc.
I think she can live for a little bit. I think LeBlanc chases her down a long lane. I think LeBlanc kills her.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, but
But like
the
during
main
that
problem
time frame,
is
they can get Baron.
yeah
So.
yeah. The main problem is you're gonna send her down here around the time of the
Mhm.
Baron's up. Once she's there, either LeBlanc has to match or she opens up bottom top inhibit, and we just dance here indefinitely. The thing is,
Mhm.
if T1 full commits to doing Baron, I think Gwen and Renekton just fucking walk through because I'm assuming they're probably gonna end up going through mid, right? They just
Yeah.
walk through mid, take inhibitor here, and then just start to end the game.
Yeah, but Doc Dom is just so far behind too.
Yeah, he
Like
is.
when Caitlyn gets the IE,
Mhm.
he's just like
He's gonna
so
be on collector.
irrelevant compared. Yeah, he's gonna be on collector. He's so irrelevant compared to her.
Yeah, he's down 130 CS.
Like there's such a huge like. I hate saying the word canyon when canyon's in the game.
Yeah. No, it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, Renekton's going into some tank itemization. Basically just for the MS to get on the backline if he has to.
Yeah, I think Deadman's is a shit item though.
Yeah. Inhibitor is coming up 10 seconds before Baron comes up.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. I mean, Deadman's is not a great item, but it's a pretty good item for burst.
Mhm.
Like for outright tanking, it's not your best option, but for burst, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's very
That's really
stat
big
efficient.
before Baron comes up because okay, they lose a lot of pressure off that.
Yeah. And I don't know, he's so glass cannon right now, Showmaker. He has like no effective HP essentially.
hmm
Like he has to essentially dominate still to be in any fight.
Yeah, this is what Faker has to do for them to actually win fights. He has to be able to get poked before the fight even begins. So yeah, I think they actually may be able to force their way into a Baron here. They get control of it and just Faker just posts up and denies access. Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
No, this is really solid. This is what we were talking about a little while ago.
Oh,
Is
and
if
what a
they're
beautiful trap line
yeah,
too.
if they're able to get an objective first, it becomes difficult for Dom 1 to actually fight. So
And they finally got to one, yeah.
yeah, this idea was mostly about Soul Point,
Yeah.
but it can absolutely be applied to Baron. Okay,
Oh,
this
can
guy's
you?
strong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Renekton got on flank.
yep.
Yeah, Renekton just gets straight over. Yeah. See, the problem with this line specifically here is that if you can't actually force down the Baron,
Yeah.
you have to exit before Renekton can get on the flank. And you have to just say,
Mhm.
all right, we couldn't do it, we're leaving, right? But if you leave, they just take the Baron in your fucking face and then zone you out of
Yeah.
the. So you
But
have
I
to
think they
you have to
get
be able
I
to
think
actually
they
finish.
but
You,
they get good traps down here.
yeah,
And it did separate them. Doc Tom can come in.
Doctor doesn't need to come in. I think all he has to do
Yeah.
is hit one W. Like at the end of the day, he really doesn't have to come in.
Mhm.
So yeah, Renekton does his job. Gwen, being as strong as she does, buys way more than enough time.
But Faker's just
Yeah, just too
murdering
strong.
everybody. Like they get all that flank and everything, but just Faker can
Yeah,
just
but then they can't do Baron.
literally.
Like, do you think they can do Baron here? I don't think they can do Baron here.
How much time do they have? Actually, they can.
Oh, 37. Oh,
They 100% can.
okay.
Like literally, like Faker just does too much damage.
Yeah, if he's bursting for like 1,000 damage
Yeah,
combo,
and
that's
like
fine.
Karma E plus the like the natural amount of health that Xin Zhao gets back gives it the ability to tank it.
Yeah.
So you have you have the sustained damage.
Okay. So like, yeah, the initial like big question here is,
Because
was
I think
LeBlanc? What's up?
yeah, because like I think as soon as Canyon goes over the wall and separates himself this far from his team without them there, with how like fed Faker is and their ability to lock the Gwen down, I think they're in trouble. Because as soon as Hallow Mist is down, like Gwen is dead here,
Hmm.
and that's their primary like most fed like individual.
Yeah.
So I feel
No,
like
absolutely.
that's what really screws them in this fight.
Yeah. I mean, they're in a spot where it's like, has Faker put out enough damage and burned enough cooldowns to actually like win this fight? The answer is
That
probably
and like
yes. Yeah.
as soon as they throw over the pinks, they're at 7,500 Baron. They don't have to force as quickly as they do.
Hmm.
They can wait for Showmaker to get in better position, get into a position where Doc Top doesn't have ultimate. You know what I mean?
So the main reason they force the way they do is they want to people to funnel into Canyon, so
Yeah,
that once Showmaker hits this edge, they can't
yeah.
just turn on him, right?
Good point. Good point.
Like that's the main thing. He goes right here, and then Zhonya's like it's very deliberate. It's not like
Yeah,
they missed the timing. This is I think the best fight they could have hoped for. But the problem is if these two are zoned out, right? Like not entirely, right? Like obviously Aurelia can ult in and Q in, but she's gonna be beating a headshot when she gets bound, right? If these two were zoned out of the fight, and this guy doesn't have ult, then realistically speaking, you can't burst everyone, and if you don't get the LeBlanc, I think the LeBlanc is almost more important than the Caitlyn is, because you have to get
yeah.
both. Oh, wait,
Mm-hmm.
no, sorry, these two. Yeah,
Yep, yep. I agree with that. You do have to get both of them.
like whichever one lives is the one that just turns the fight entirely.
Yeah, it's just Faker gets so many rotations in.
Yeah. Yep, that turns into Baron. Let's see if this Baron turns into a win.
Yumi ult just being burned in the beginning.
Yeah, they're trying to see if they can get a pick onto the.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a pick or they're trying to zone her out. Yeah, they're trying to zone her out
Mm-hmm.
so that Canyon can get in. All right, it's zoning ult. Yeah, we just lived through all this. All right, they get Baron, and they're holding off. All right, they have all three inhibitors up. They
And for the
should
first
be
time in
able
the
to
game, they
turn
have a gold
this.
advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should
And
be able to turn
Gumi
this
usually
pressure
almost
into
definitely
a.
has IE now, right? Yes, he
Yes,
does.
there's no way
Oh,
he
okay.
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's looking like yeah.
And
All right,
Black
he
Cleaver on
debuffs.
Jace. Nice.
Yeah, this game's looking very
They
T1
have
favored
so
now.
much damage
They
now.
flip the Baron. They flip the Baron push
Look
into
at all those
Dragon.
Negatron cloaks. They're like, oh, we're getting blown up.
Yeah, they're probably all going. Oh, okay, so it's
'Cause
forcing
I
nature.
just
Yeah.
the problem is now is that like I don't think they have the ability to create like the chaotic like side lane scenarios
Mhm.
for them to get picks, and now they're forced to team fight, and they're
Yep.
just not going to win those.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they can't get harassed down the way they did
Yeah,
by Faker's LeBlanc. It just can't happen because as soon as that happens, like they're obviously just gonna try to force you into a 5v5. Like their main goal is let's just avoid the 5v5. All right, that's good. They're doing that. They're giving this in exchange for I'm assuming
Showmaker.
they were trying to go for mid inhibitor.
Oh,
At
okay.
least the pings were on to mid inhibitor, but it looks like instead they're looking for a
A flank
yeah, a
engage.
flank play.
I mean, they do have inside track on them.
Yeah, I think the
And
idea
you do have
was
Jin to ultimate to open up with ultimate.
yeah, I think the idea was that Renekton is enough of a threat to force them to exit bot side. If they exit bot side, we have inside track to mid lane. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the idea of it, but if they just run directly at Renekton and run him directly off, I don't think we're actually that afraid, right?
Yeah,
Of
yeah, that's what
Renekton,
I'm
even if
saying.
Gwen is there, yeah.
at this stage of the game. So
Yeah, so Gwen's attempting to zone them off, but Gwen takes too much damage while trying to do so. Yes, they can get there first if they want to, but they're not going to actually get it. There's no way they actually get it.
yeah, and they don't get anything for that on the top
Yeah.
side.
I mean, they tried. They really did try. Just Team One reacted properly. There's just some things that happen here where it's just like, all right, well, we can attempt to make a play and see if they react improperly. Like this is the kind of state this game is in.
I will say though, the better flank has been from T1 with the gates, where when they were pressuring on the base, that gate pressure helped
Mm,
them not lose the game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a simple play from T1 where I was talking about a second ago, where it's like we have to
Yeah,
try to just force a play and see if they make a mistake, right? Because
yeah,
Damwon could have made the play, like I said earlier, to just loop through and exit bot side.
yeah. Exit bot side, but
Yeah,
they went to
yeah. They,
force
they went to try to force the end.
because they had to react, you know. So I
Yeah,
thought that's why I thought it was a good play.
yeah. I think this is one of the best things that teams from playing from behind can do, is make a play and try to force a mistake because they won't always react correctly. You have
Hmm.
to take lower and lower percentages plays, the further behind you get. Like players just don't do that sometimes.
Yeah, the less chips you have on the table, the more aggressive hands you have to take.
Yeah, this should probably end the game if I had to guess.
Ooh,
He gets Zeus, but I don't think that actually does anything. I think he still
yeah,
dies here.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was just Zeus. If that wasn't Gumayushi or Faker,
Hmm.
they do get
Yeah.
Faker, but
It's
Gumayushi's up,
it's
so it's
it's
game
it's the same
over.
thing that happened at the Baron fight. If you can get one, but if you don't get both, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So this is just an ending push. All right.
But I would say that like the bot lane ended up being very massive.
Hmm.
That win condition really did help them. Plus Faker.
Oh, absolutely. I think that that getting run over like this is just kind of not acceptable when you're playing Jin Yumi here. So like,
Yeah.
what are some takeaways you have from this game? Anything
Well,
any
I've really liked Canyon's level 1 adaptation
Hmm.
to how people normally.
Do Zen.
Hmm.
I thought that was super intelligent. I thought that was like awesome for them to do. Um, I did think that like their patience and their play from behind in a deficient gold state and how often they were cross mapping was really intelligent by T1.
Yeah.
That's another takeaway I had from here. I really did like though, like Damwon showing off a very aggressive melee style composition with the Jin,
Hmm.
but and like how snowbally this type of comp could be. I thought it was kind of impressive, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
man, Doc Dom they should not be that far behind. I'd
No
want to take
fucking
a
way.
look at like
Yeah.
I would say the Yumi must have been way too passive in that early lane, or something had to go wrong early for them to get you know from 25 CS down to 150 CS down.
Hmm.
You know,
I mean,
from
it's clear that the Yumi was drafted for the Gwen and drafted for their melees rather than for the
yeah,
Jhin. Because it's like we said, what else do you pick here into Karma and Caitlyn?
yeah.
Like what's even left realistically speaking? There's not much. There are some other enchanters that could have gone out, but if you're going to play for the top side of your map, you're better off just taking the Yumi. You know, because you're not going to win into Karma Caitlyn. It's just not possible. I think in current meta, there's no winning angles left unless you're going to hard play with mid prio, which you know you can't do if they have R5 and options, right?
Hmm.
So
Because if you go something doubly mobile as well, because you do have the option of going something like Xerath Jin, where you're trying to like outrange and outpoke, and you do have other options like that, but that's harder to execute
yeah,
compositionally.
it's harder to execute, and also if you try to play if you just change nothing, right, and just replace
Yeah,
the Xerath with Yumi, I feel like that lane gets dove on cooldown.
yeah, that's what I'm saying
Yeah,
because of the double mobility.
like you
So
need to
anything
have
that
a
you are
hard
going to
winning
play
lane.
versus the Karma, yeah. The only thing you can try to do is try to like buffer the poke with something defensive,
Hmm.
but that's going to be hard as well because Jin doesn't normally pair that well with the type of champions that you would do that with. Because you're not going to go something like Lulu Jin. I don't think is a very good lane.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree. All right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Janagen, like you're not gonna go Janagen, you're not gonna go Bromgen, you don't want anything like that. I think the only thing that I personally am a big fan of Maokai Jin. I like that as a lane a lot. I think it's a very dynamic lane, but I don't know
Maokai.
if it would.
I didn't we talk about this into Caitlyn, not just not being good.
Yeah, I don't think it's good into Caitlyn. I think it's good into Karma in isolation though.
In isolation, I think it can be. Um, like if you want to play it, maybe
Because you get like
50-50.
you get bush control and you get the ability to like disengage pretty heavily, but against their team, you don't really necessarily need that. So I think the Yumi was a good pick here for like what they had. Um, but I think they kind of pigeonholed themselves with the way they drafted.
Yeah.
I think their main problem here came with the first pick, Renekton. I think there was too much priority on Renekton.
Yeah, like I said, I prefer to see Renekton on 2-3. I think that
Mm.
if you want a first pick connection, there are angles you can do it and it should be fine. But I think that there are too many answers to Renekton. If you're gonna flex it like you did here, it's okay. Um,
Especially leaving Xin Zhao up all the way to R4 and like first picking Renekton, I think kind of inhibited them a little bit. Even though I did like their Gwen answer to it.
yep, yeah, I liked it a lot too. But yeah, I think the things that I really have to take away from this would be like what you mentioned earlier, the Gwen level one, I think, and just let Gwen play to kind of choke out Xin Zhao in general. Was really really excellent, especially to play around her top and mid pressure. Because like I feel
Well,
like that Gwen play,
her ability to track him the entire game,
yeah,
like Zin will be able to, is able to like win to some nice 2v2s or get good ganks. But if Gwen's there, and especially in a head state like that, there's nothing he can do.
yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. I mean the level one makes it so that Xin Zhao has one option to play into, and he has to do it weaker than he would be otherwise.
Yep.
Right? He can literally only play into bot side. Every other lane will be helpless. So it forces winning top side, which forced both heralds. And I think it put DK in a spot where they could have looked to snowball out the game, and they almost did. But
Very
an
closely too.
unfortunate misplay and like at like 25 minutes made it rough. Unlucky, right? But
Yeah.
no, and also that Baron setup and that Baron take from Dom1 around the 22-23 minute mark was excellent. I thought
Yep.
that's something that like I would like to show people as
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
That was a very good way to set up that pressure and do it very.
and to
They
use the
did it
tools they
very
had. Yeah.
succinctly. Yep.
All right, excellent, cool. So then, if there's nothing else to talk about, I think we'll just cut it here then.